that's where children have learned racism, basically, to someone like you as a child.
Yeah.
Most kids, if they're just allowed to be happy and play, it doesn't matter what color skin you are or what's going on.
No, like our neighborhood was, we were all from all parts of the world. Like every color in the rainbow, we were out there playing. We were fine.
Yeah.
And then you get to the schoolyard, it's like, what the heck is this? But in the neighborhood, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it's weird how that kind of stuff happens, but ignorance, though, is the other part of it too, and fear, because there's something slightly different, and they're going to take away our freedoms or our way of life. It's like, well, no, they're here to enhance it, as well as their own.
Oh, I mean, imagine like all the types of food that we wouldn't get.
Yeah.
Holy crow! Like just the food alone. Never mind the just the fashion, the way of thinking. The way art, music, everything.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of the phrase cultural appropriation?
Cultural appropriation. That sounds very negative.
It does. I think that a lot of people that say that don't know that they're not allowed to eat a lot of the Italian food that is classically Italian. If that line of thinking goes all the way back to a certain time, because something like tomatoes were only in Mexico until about 500 years ago. So.
Cultural appropriation. Why, is there a movement now?
No, it's this thing that, because you're Filipino, you're not allowed to dress up like a native or have like the big headdress or whatever for Halloween. Like they've taken all those out of the stores because somebody's appropriating native culture that way. But it's at the same time, it's just like, but it's a costume. They don't even dress like that. Like they do, like very rarely, but even then, if that's a ceremony thing, and that's right. So
everybody's so sensitive,
right? And that's what I thought was so silly. Like Belgian chocolate shouldn't be allowed then either, right?
Well, the thing is, I'm not pure Filipino. Like my father was Spanish American, so, and then behind that was all his different races, and on my mom's side for all her Asian races. So it's like, well, I can do whatever I want then, because it's all part of my culture.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I always thought was funny too, because it's like, well, if I say "Hey Chief" and somebody gets offended by that, it's like, well, first of all, I'm part Métis, but I'm also have Irish in my history, so it's like they had chieftains as well.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe you should watch what you're saying. Yeah. Because you're doing certain things.
Yeah, I think it's just they're so afraid to offend other people. That's all. That's what it is, and which is fine. You don't want to offend them, but I mean, come on.
Some people need to lighten up.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's what it seems with a lot of this stuff. It's good that people are, like you said earlier, like being more open and just being who they want to be. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people that seem to say it's like you can be whoever you want, but in a certain way.
Well, but that's not. That's.
Classic communism?
Well, I don't know. It's almost like saying, okay, you can be gay, but not that gay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like.
Well, it's what that book about animal farm was about.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
There are more rights than some. Some have more rights than others.
Yeah. We're all equal, but some are more equal than others.
So. Yeah. And they all had it right. George Orwell, Margaret Atwood had it right?
Yeah.
So.